Paragraph 5. One theory, the adult aggregation hypothesis, maintains that most species is more abundant than we realize when a storm destroys coral and causes a food shortage. Here, the verb maintain is the main verb that coming immediately after maintain actually carries out the burden of being the objective for maintain. Actually, it introduces this independent clause that this theory wants to maintain, wants to claim. This clause, the adult aggregation hypothesis, is a reduced relative clause, and I want to discuss its non-reduced form. This clause has been originally this, which is one theory, which is the adult aggregation hypothesis. In order to add fluency to a sentence, fluency and eloquence, we can eliminate relative pronouns. And this is a rule of thumb that when the relative clause is in the active mood, like here that we have this the be verb of is, and then in this case, in this active case, when we eliminate the relative pronoun, the be verb clung to the relative pronoun is also eliminated. And the rule of thumb regarding this issue is that when we eliminate the relative pronoun, the active verb coming immediately after the relative pronoun should turn into its gerund form. And here we can do this. We can eliminate which and turn is into being, like here, being. One theory being the adult aggregation, but it is customary to actually eliminate the be verb with the relative pronoun without leaving any ing form. Thus, we have this reduced form, one theory, the adult aggregation hypothesis. Another issue of what's most interesting here in this sentence is the agreement between the verb is and the noun species. Species on the surface appears plural to us, but it is actually a singular noun in terms of grammar, and they make and such nouns may trip us up. I want to introduce you with a common list of such nouns to make you familiar with these nouns that need a singular verb when you use them. We have this list. In the category of subjects, nouns like physics, economics, statistics, linguistics, ethics, civics, phonetics, mathematics, that end in S. They are not plural, they are singular nouns, and they entail a singular verb when you employ them in your sentences. In the category of abstract concepts, words like news, for example, and other concepts like happiness, sadness, progress, they are singular nouns needing singular verb. Diseases like measles, mumps, shingles, rickets that end in S are not plural. They are singular and they need singular verbs. And games like billiards, darts, checkers, chess, dominoes, that likewise end in S, need a singular verb because they are singular nouns. Another interesting grammatical issue here in the sentence is the elimination of the word what coming immediately after than and before we. This elimination happens as a result of reducing redundancy. There's no a common noun for this elimination because it is not a common phenomenon like the reduction in relative clauses. However, in order for adding fluency to the sentence, this elimination happens naturally when we read the sentence. One theory, the adult aggregation hypothesis, maintains that most species is more abundant than what we realize. Or you can get across your point while eliminating this word. This is actually a placeholder for what comes after than without leaving any gap in the sentence, without reducing the correctness of the sentence. To be abundant, is an adjective which is made from the verb abound plus the suffix of ant. And if you encounter this verb somewhere, you can think of this, actually, you can mean it as to be full of something. For example, fish abound in this lake. Instead of abound, you can say is abundant. Fish is abundant in this lake, or fish abound in this lake. In this clause, what comes after that? Most species with. Another grammatical interest is that after and we don't have any subject, so the subject of the verb cause here is storm, and due to that we don't set up and this coordinating conjunction here with any comma. Actually, we don't place any comma before and because after and we don't have any subject for this verb cause. In this sentence, food shortage is a noun phrase. Food is a noun in the place of adjective, which modifies the noun shortage. In terms of pronunciation, hypothesis is of great importance. Since hypothesis is a Latin rooted word, it is interesting to say that since hypothesis is a Latin rooted word, it has its own way to become plural. Hypothesis turns into hypotheses. Likewise, we have crisis, which turns into crises. Second sentence, the adult acanthasters converge on remaining portions of healthy coral and feed hungrily. Converge here is the main verb and helps us to understand the meaning of the sentence. Remaining here in the noun phrase of remaining portions. Remaining is an adjective, and this adjective is made from adding ing to the verb remain. Adding ing makes adjectives. Adding ing to verbs makes adjectives, makes actually subjective adjectives, and the past participle, and in most cases ed, adding ed to as a suffix to verbs makes objective adjectives. Hungrily here means ravenously or madly. When we say to feed hungrily, we can also replace it with to feed madly, to feed ravenously. Healthy is an adjective for the noun plural. Healthy is made from adding only y as a suffix to the noun health. Converge here, which is the subject of the following vocabulary question here, means to go together, to flock together, to come close together, to come close to one another. Also, you should pay attention to the preposition of on coming after converge. Converge on something or somewhere. The last sentence, certainly there have been outbreaks of again faster following large storms. But there is little evidence that the storms have caused enough reef damage to create a food shortage for these starfish. This is a compound sentence made up from two independent clauses connected with the coordinating conjunction of but. So we have two main verbs, have been here and is here. Certainly is an adjective. We can place this adjective between have and been here. Between have and been, there have certainly been outbreaks, but the other have placed certainly in the first place in this sentence for more emphasis on what comes after it. To add more emphasis actually to what the other wants to communicate, he placed certainly firstly to make up his sentence. Following large storms is a restrictive preposition phrase. Following actually is a preposition like regarding, like concerning, like on, like off, like in, like on. And what comes after a preposition is a noun phrase, or a pronoun. And here we have this noun phrase, large storms. A grammatical point of great importance in this sentence is the word there. There here is not a pronoun to refer to a specific place. No, there here is an existential there, and it helps introduce a sentence in which the subject comes after the verb. Here, outbreaks of I can faster is actually the subject of have been. You can reparaphrase the sentence by saying that outbreaks of I can fasters have certainly been following larger storms. But in order to place much emphasis on the existence of such outbreaks, you use this structure. You say there have been outbreaks of again faster following larger storms, and by saying this, you actually place there in the place of subject and move the real subject, which is here outbreaks of again faster, this noun phrase, to after the verb. And here the main verb is have been. Again, we have the same existential there in the next clause. There is little evidence. This there introduces a sentence in which the subject, which is little evidence, comes after the verb. And we actually place there in the place of, put there in the place of the real subject in order to emphasize on the existence of such little evidence. Question 6. The word converge in the passage is closest in meaning to rest, come together, spread out, depend. Uh, we meant a converge when we discussed paragraph 5, and converge means to come together, to flock together, to come close together, to come in contact together, to come more in contact together. And according to this meaning of converge, we should choose the second option, come together. I have previously mentioned that answering vocabulary questions in the TOEFL exam is difficult when you don't know the real meaning of the wanted word. Here, if you don't know the meaning of converge, it's difficult to answer, but sometimes we can get hint from the sentence, for example, which helps us to narrow down for the option that is closest to the meaning of converge. For example, here the noun aggregation is a hint. Aggregation means to come closer together, to make a dense gathering, and a dense gathering happens when subjects, when things converge, when they come close together. And due to that, we understand that converge must be come together. Actually, the author begins the first sentence by mentioning a theory, the adult aggregation hypothesis. So we should expect that in the following, the author will discuss gatherings and acanthasters coming close together. So converge means come together. Question 7. According to paragraph 5, what is an important weakness of the adult aggregation hypothesis? The author of this question has forgotten to place question mark immediately after hypothesis to end this sentence, so my apologies. This prompt has a interesting grammatical point, and that is that, when we have a noun following immediately with a number, we don't specify that noun phrase with the article the. We don't place the before the noun. And here we don't place the before paragraph. We don't say the paragraph 5. Instead, we say paragraph 5. We say so because paragraph 5 is specified enough by the number of 5. So we don't sense to place the before paragraph. We don't need the article there. And the same happens when I say question 7 or sentence 2, sentence 3. Or generally, when we are in a hotel, we say room 194, room 85, and so on. So, okay, back to question. This is an inference question, and our general strategy for answering TOEFL questions is to reject incorrect choices rather than to find the correct choice. The first option, it is based on studies of the deeper parts of coral reefs. It here is a pronoun referring to the adult aggregation hypothesis. So it says that it is based on studies of the deeper parts of coral reefs. Since we are going to answer this question according to the information interwoven into paragraph 5, we can reject this option easily because in paragraph 5 Uh, we never discussed deeper parts of coral reef. So this option is clearly rejected. Second, it fails to explain the abundance of acanthaster in the deeper parts of coral reef. Again, it refers to the hypothesis, the adult aggregation hypothesis, and like the first option, it is easily rejected because in paragraph 5, we never discussed deeper parts of coral reef. No, we never discussed this. This is paragraph 5, and nowhere in this paragraph we discussed the deeper parts of coral reef. No. So the second option is also rejected. The third option, it fails to explain why acanthaster feed hungrily on healthy coral after a storm. No, actually, it explained why acanthaster feed hungrily on healthy coral after a storm, because this hypothesis is of the opinion that after storms which destroy coral reefs, species, specifically acanthasters, converge and flock together on remaining healthy corals and begin to feed hungrily. Again, this option is not our answer. And the information related to this option have been mentioned here. The adult acanthasters converge on remaining portions of healthy coral and feed hungrily. Yeah, you see, this sentence explains clearly why they converge on remaining portions of healthy coral and feed hungrily, because storms destroy coral and causes food shortage. The last option, it is not supported by evidence that storms result in food shortages for acanthaster. This is the remaining option, and we actually have rejected the other three previous options. So it is obviously our answer, but to check this option, we go back to paragraph. According to paragraph 5, the adult aggregation hypothesis states that we have storms, larger storms, and these larger storms can destroy corals and cause food shortages. But these food shortages cannot lead to destroy other species, specifically acanthasters. Instead, acanthasters flock together and tend to remaining portions of healthy coral and begin to feed hungrily. And this feeding hungrily can lead to their sudden increase. The last sentence states that certainly there have been outbreaks of acanthaster following large storms. You know, this hypothesis, as we just discussed, acknowledges that there have been outbreaks of acanthasters following larger storms. But this sentence has a but term. But there is little evidence that the storms have caused enough reef damage to create a food shortage for these starfish. You know, this hypothesis failed to provide evidence for this claim that storms lead to food shortages for species, for acanthasters specifically. And to sum up, the adult aggregation hypothesis states that large storms can destroy corals and cause food shortages, but these food shortages usually do not lead to destruction of account fasters. Instead, they flock together. Adult account fasters converge and flock together on remaining portions of thirsty coral and begin to feed hungrily. And this hungrily eating can lead to a sudden increase in their number, can lead to an abundance in the number of fasters. However, this theory fails to prove that large storms can cause food shortages for faster. So this is the weakness of this theory. This is the weakness of this theory that provides little evidence for storms causing enough reef damage to create a food shortage for fasters. Thus, according to what we have discussed, the last option is our answer.